Paul's first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 3. Brothers, I couldn't speak to you as to spiritual, but as to fleshy, as to babies in Christ. I fed you with milk, not with solid food, for you weren't yet ready. Indeed, you aren't ready even now, for you are still fleshy. For insofar as there is jealousy, strife, and factions among you, aren't you fleshy, and don't you walk in the ways of men? For when one says, I follow Paul, and another, I follow Apollos, aren't you fleshy? Who then is Apollos, and who is Paul, but servants through whom you believed, and each as the Lord gave to him? I planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase. So then neither he who planted is anything, nor he who waters, but God who gives the increase. Now he who plants and he who waters are the same, but each will receive his own reward according to his own labor. For we are God's fellow workers, and you are God's farming, God's building. According to the grace of God which was given to me, as a wise master builder, I laid a foundation, and another builds on it. But let each man be careful how he builds on it. For no one can lay any other foundation than that which has been laid, which is Jesus Christ. But if anyone builds on the foundation with gold, silver, costly stones, wood, hay, or straw, each man's work will be revealed, for the day will declare it, because it is revealed in fire, and the fire itself will test what sort of work each man's work is. If any man's work remains, which he built on it, he will receive a reward. If any man's work is burned, he will suffer loss, but he himself will be saved, but as through fire. Don't you know that you are God's temple, and that God's Spirit lives in you? If anyone destroys God's temple, God will destroy him, for God's temple is holy, which you are. Let no one deceive himself. If anyone thinks that he is wise among you in this world, let him become a fool, that he may become wise. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. For it is written, He has taken the wise in their craftiness. And again, the Lord knows the reasoning of the wise, that it is worthless. Therefore, let no one boast in men, for all things are yours, whether Paul or Apollos or Cephas or the world or life or death or things present or things to come, all are yours. And you are Christ's, and Christ is God's. If we're being honest, it's all too easy to get stuck in our spiritual infancy. When Paul opens this part of his letter, he reminds the Corinthians of something comforting. You are absolutely part of the family. They've received the Holy Spirit, they have the gifts, and their salvation isn't the question here. But Paul doesn't pull his punches. He's essentially telling them, you're acting like toddlers, spiritual toddlers. Think about a toddler throwing a temper tantrum over the most important thing in their life so far. It's the fact that they want the blue cup, not the red cup. Now that might be expected if you're 2, but when you're 45, then Houston, we have a problem. Paul looks at the church in Corinth and sees people who should be eating solid food, deep, mature, spiritual truths, but they're still demanding a blue sippy cup. So what's the problem here? They're all divided, bickering, playing favorites with their leaders, saying, I'm with Paul, I'm with Apollos. It's the first century version of getting into some tribal debate over our favorite podcaster or which parish priest we prefer, completely missing the forest for the trees. The Catechism has a good little note on this. It says, "The renewal of the church is also notable for the increase in the number of ecclesial communities, provided that they maintain a real communion with the local church and the universal church to avoid the danger of isolating themselves." Paul then goes on to use two beautiful images to send them a little wake-up call. First, he says that he and Apollos are just field hands. One plants the seed, one waters, but God gives the growth. Imagine two gardeners working on a beautiful vineyard. One digs the soil, the other prunes the vines, and then the grapes come up and say, "I only grow for the guy with the shovel." It's ridiculous. They both work for the same master, and the field belongs to him. Then he shifts gears again, telling them we are God's building, and Jesus is the absolute foundation. And if you know the story, and you ask the three little piggies, they will tell you that construction materials matter a whole lot. We can build our lives with gold and silver, things like virtue, deep prayer, charity. Or we can put up a cheap shack with hay and straw, things like gossip, vanity, surface-level faith. Paul warns them and us that a fire is coming to test our work. In Catholic tradition, we often see this as the fire of Christ's pure love, testing what is real in us. If we built with straw, it burns away. We might make it through the fire, but we'll feel the loss of that wasted time and effort. St. John of the Cross said, "In the evening of life, we shall be judged on our love." When everything else is stripped away by that holy fire, only the love we put into our actions remain. The petty arguments, our spiritual pride, our need to be right by the world's standards, all straw. To the world, choosing humility, staying out of divisive gossip, quietly serving others, looks foolish. But Paul reminds us that the world's wisdom is completely empty compared to God's. When we belong to Christ, we don't need to fight over earthly loyalties, because everything already belongs to us in Him. Where are we building with straw in our daily lives? How much are we investing our time and energy into some fleeting anxieties or unimportant disagreements, or more likely digital distractions that will instantly burn away, rather than building with gold and silver of silent prayer or hidden acts of charity? Are we contributing to unity or division in our communities? When we talk about the people in our lives, whether those are other Christians, people at church, do we act like mature spiritual adults? Or are we letting fleshy, petty rivalries determine how we treat other people while we wail for our blue cup?